Well, I would describe my personal style as very red carpet, very understated for the pageant world. I design beautiful evening gowns, and they end up in a pageant. I grew up in a time when the family sat around the television and watched Miss America. You know, there weren't 300 channels to choose from. You had pretty much 3 networks. And, you know, Sunday morning, everybody in America knew who Miss America was. And as a kid, I thought it was kind of neat and always had an interest in it. And would go to the pageants, go to Miss South Carolina. And then I had thought, well, you know, why don't I go pursue this dream and study fashion? And then even now when I'm at Miss America and I'm watching that runway, and girls come down that long runway at Miss America in Atlantic City with all that tradition. I mean, sometimes I do sit there and go, wow, you know, how did this happen? I started out my career as an educator and taught school for 7 years, and then did a total career change, went to New York to study fashion at the Fashion Institute of Technology. And after a 2-year program there, came back to Greenville and worked for a designer here. And after 5 years, started freelancing more, and then in 1997 opened my own business. So in my mind, I always knew I would come back to Greenville and on some level do what I'm doing now. But I never really expected it to be all that it is today. Well, when I opened the doors 20 years ago, I had one seamstress and myself. And I would be out front waiting on clients, and then I may even go back and sit down at a sewing machine. Now there are 7 seamstresses. To create a gown from a technical aspect, my background is in fashion design, so I've had classes in pattern making, draping, where you actually take a cotton fabric that's inexpensive, and you look at the drawing and you actually drape it onto the dress form. We have probably 8 or 9 dress forms in the workroom, and that's what I prefer doing. I would consider myself a draper in the business of fashion, because I'm a visual person. I have to see the proportions and, you know, constantly compare it to my sketch, and then we take that apart and cut that into the fabric, and it goes into the hands of the seamstresses. Well, the average time spent on one particular gown could be anywhere from 40 to as many as 120 hours. We are manufacturing beautiful gowns. You know, we are turning into a couture house. Well, one of the reasons I think we've had success in this business is we take great pride in our fit. And my staff is so well trained, and there's years and years of experience between them. Getting into bridal kind of evolved from my pageant background, because it just makes sense that if you're working with a young woman that's in her teens and then she gets into her early 20s and she continues in the pageant world, eventually there's a wedding in her future. So we started getting phone calls, and we did one dress, and the next thing you know, we're in the bridal business, and it's about 50% of the business right now. There are gowns that, when I look at photographs, thousands of memories come back, you know, how quickly your brain can work. You start out your business thinking, oh, I want to have some girls who do really well in the pageant world because that'd be great for business. And now we've accomplished that. You know, we've had national winners and gowns worn in Miss America, Miss USA. People know who we are. And so now what's important to me is that the clients come, they enjoy the process of having something made, and then they leave here feeling like they're as capable of winning the pageant as anyone else. The whole point of having a gown made is to get the gown that you truly want to have.